Добрый день.
Hello, Poland!
The speeches weren't delivered simultaneously, but history will record them in split screen, in parallel universes.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Bitter Popcorn. So a year has passed. A year since Russia started a war in Ukraine. A year has passed and the world is getting closer and closer to the beginning of the Third World War. From the first day of this conflict, I have been expressing my firm position. Peace to the world. I still remember the times when the first toast was raised for the peace. Now you can get a real jail time for it. It is impossible to justify the deaths of the people by nothing, by any political motives. It hurts me to watch how guys the same age as me die on both sides of the front. It's not clear why. In Russia, in the mode of complete information isolation, propagandists are zombifying people, convincing them to go to die for idiotic ideas.
Считаю, что и этого недостаточно. Правильно это назвать священная война! Священная война! Гойда, братья и сестры! Гойда! Гойда! Гойда!
Of course, it is easy for me to talk about this from Europe without risking my life or freedom. And I imagine how difficult it is for understanding people to put up with all this nightmare. How hard it is not to break down. Being in prisons for serious terms, literally for an opinion, people are not much different from prisoners of concentration camps. I wish them strength. All wars end, and it will pass too. On this topic, I remembered a wonderful German movie. So let's begin.
Es ist mir eine Ehre, den besten Fälscher der Welt verhaften zu dürfen.
Nummer 75.517.
In the center of the plot of the counterfeiters in the story of a Jew, and as the name implies, as a counterfeiter, Salomon Sorowitsch, a notable master of his craft, a man more than far from a politics, a talented artist lying in Germany, he finds himself in a German concentration camp in the late 1930s. Striving to survive at all costs, he finds a clever move to survive and not to perish from hunger and overwork. On a piece of paper stolen by stealth, he draws a portrait of a German soldier who commands the prisoners of his barracks.
Alles auf!
Wer hat das gemacht?
Nummer 75.517.
Gefällt mir. Hast du gut getroffen, Jude?
So begins his career as a camp painter for food and tolerable conditions. He paints portraits and paints walls until finally in 1944 he was unexpectedly transferred to the Sachsenhausen camp.
Nummer 75.517.
Salomon Sorowitsch.
Where the fascists in the last year of the war were preparing an operation to undermine the economics of Britain and the United States, which were planned to be flooded with the counterfeit banknotes. To do this, specialists, artists, printers, banking professionals are brought from the different camps and create more or less decent conditions for them to live and, most importantly, work. They are all Jews, and it is obvious that after the operation they are all going to get rid of them all. But after the usual concentration camps, every well-fed day, every night spent in a normal bed, most of them seem to be happy, behind which looms a ghostly hope for survival, except perhaps one person, Adolf Burger, who calls for resistance and sabotage. Karl Markovich, who played Sorowitsch, stunningly managed to convey the torments of a moral choice and evolution evolution of a man who, although he spent all his adult life on human laws, but as it turned out was not ready to just fuck up the divine laws. In general, it seemed to me that both the type itself and the actors are a very accurate hit in the image. As a result, the character turned out to be multi-faceted, deep, tragic, and devoid of any inappropriate sentimentality. In the film, the acting ensemble was generally pleased. In general, I was once again convinced that artists in European cinema, unlike most of the American films that I love dearly, look like real people with imperfect skin, not always a white toothed smile and incorrect profile. And this does not cause any denial, but on the contrary makes their characters closer and more authentic. In general, it seemed to me that analysis of the excellence of the film may be delayed. There are too many of them. One of the main things is the dynamism of the tape. A closed space, a few actors, and meanwhile the tension does not subside from the first to the last frame. And a bitter aftertaste, and open wounds, and the feeling of a contact with the art.
So viele Geld.
Wir können uns Neues machen.
Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Hope you liked the video. Like if you liked it, subscribe, and don't forget to leave a comment. And see you in the next episode.